Hi everybody, Robert A. Bonavito here, New Jersey forensic accountant. Today we're going to discuss lost profits legal principles. Like most of the discussions we have, it has usually to do something that we had in our office the last month or so. And this came up in arbitration we had, so I figure we'll talk a little bit about it and importance if you're a forensic accountant or any kind of litigation. You need to know some of the basic legal principles. So, when forensic accountants are retained to prepare damage reports or lost profits, they have to assume that there's strong legal principles that are going to back up those damages. Because remember, if we do damages and there's no liability issue, well, we're just wasting time. So that's kind of why we always kind of try to have an understanding of what the damages are and is there legal liability. I often tell clients, in order for my damage report to be successful, the attorneys must win the legal issues. And I also tell them that if they have to testify, their credibility is going to affect my report. So it's complex. It's not just my report. I mean, we're pretty good at this, so we kind of know what to do. But, explain to them, it's a team approach to any kind of litigation matter. Now, we recently had, it was a mediation. It was really like an arbitration. And it was big law firm in the city, huge office overlooking the Hudson Bay there, and you could see the Statue of Liberty, and we've been doing this case for many years. And it came apparent because when the judge, who was the arbitrator or mediator, started to ask questions, that our attorneys didn't really have a strong understanding of the liability issue. And that, not only that, they didn't really have an understanding of the potential to pay us the award, because I think the policy only covered, the insurance policy was $50 million, but we were looking for like $100 to $200 million. And we spent a lot of time doing the report so that we could win that much money. And so I was a little bit stunned. Some of the other experts, they just weren't prepared, So that's why I'm doing this video. Now, So that's why it's important that you need to have some type of understanding of the legal principles, and we always do. But in this case, for some reason, I kind of really relied on, it seemed to me that we had a really strong foundation, didn't really get into it with the attorneys until the mediation. Attorneys, obviously, they need to fully research the applicable law and determine that there's a strong basis for the lawsuit, right? And obviously, they're not going to waste their time either. I mean, maybe they're getting paid hourly, but usually they're on contingency. Forensic accountant, we have to be paid hourly. The principle behind lost profits is fundamentally compensatory. Now, compensatory, what does that mean? That means the defendant's wrongful actions cause the plaintiff to lose profits that the plaintiff would have otherwise earned. The result of an award and damages will likely make the plaintiff whole. So this case happened to be an international bakery company where supposedly the architects came in and they said we could put these massive convection ovens in, and we couldn't. So we couldn't. They couldn't bake these rolls and stuffed breads and stuff, like millions and millions of dollars for a long time, because the architectural plans are wrong. So that was the basis of this lawsuit. And I'm assuming, okay, the architects can afford to pay these damages. The architects really did, tell them that they could put these ovens in. And it was kind of questionable based on what happened at the arbitration, whether it actually did happen. So there's two types of damages that you need to understand. There's direct or general damages. They naturally or general result from a breach according to the course of things. Plaintiff is seeking general damages when you try to recover the value of a performed promise. For example, in this case, we paid for architectural plans, and they were supposed to deliver those plans, right? So they didn't deliver it. Okay, the plans weren't proper. So, we would want our, $500,000 back because the plans were not proper. That's direct or general. But the big damages were what's called consequential or special damages. Okay, that's where they have to seek, the plaintiff for additional losses that are a result of the breach. Okay, because we couldn't put those ovens in, you know, we lost international contracts. I mean, they couldn't make breads. It was a complete disaster. But those damages, the lost profits on that money was, you know, almost $200 million. So that's the difference between these two types of damage. You need to understand that. Now, for the lawyers, okay, when lawyers sue, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but I've been doing this for 40 years, and I've seen all kinds of lawsuits. Generally, you need to understand that, you know, the existence of lost profits sounds basic, but there has to be lost profits. A lot of times we get into cases, they made money because they got shut down. Okay, they made money. So we're saying there's no lost profits. You guys were unprofitable. By them shutting you down, you made money. So that does happen. Proximate cause or loss effect. So for example, in this case, not having those ovens, we couldn't put the ovens in because of the architectural plans, which the business bought the building because of those plans. So we couldn't do it. So there was a proximate cause. Well, the plans were wrong. We couldn't put the ovens in, right? Foreseeability. Now, if you see that the plans are not proper and you can't put the ovens in, well, obviously you're going to have damages. Makes sense, right? A judge or jury, they should understand that. You have to be able to calculate the amount of lost profits. In this case, you know, it was complex, but, you know, you could figure out, okay, we would have done this on these machines, you know, these ovens, these type of ovens can make this type of bread. We could do so many a minute. We could have 4 shifts and, you know, multiply that by 2-3 years. So the profits are calculable. Now, mitigating damages. Now, did they mitigate? Mitigate's a very important people. People overlook mitigation. Mitigation, for example, in this case, was maybe what we could have done or they could have done is went out and rent ovens, right? Rent ovens so that would reduce the losses. Instead of losing $200 million, well, maybe they would have lost $50 million. But again, it's a complicated case, but, you know, they did mitigate. But so these things you need to think about, and you don't get too involved, but you can ask the attorneys. Otherwise, you're going to end up like I did, you know, looking at the Statute of Liberty, and I'm looking at the judge ask these questions to the attorneys, and the attorneys are giving these bullshit answers. So I'm like, wait a second. I mean, you know, this was a very, very reputable law firm. Obviously, we were going to win the insurance policy no matter what. We were going to get the $50 million no matter what. That was, you know, but I want the whole $200 million, and you know, we don't know if we got the whole $200 million at this point, but that's what we were aiming for. So, you know, just be aware that we're not lawyers, but you still can understand, you know, how lost profits work and what the legal ramifications are. So you can talk to the attorneys and just understand. I mean, we had a good understanding, but the judge asked some interesting questions, which they couldn't answer. So listen, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, smash the like button. If you have any questions, leave them below. Me or my staff will get back to you. Again, thanks for listening. Bye.